You're watching Lake Votes 2012. I'm here with Bill Smuckler running for Stark County Commissioner's position. Welcome, Mr. Smuckler.
How are you?
Good. Now, why are you running for this election?
I'm running for Stark County Commissioner because I have a business in this community. I own Canton Hotel and Restaurant Supply with my brother and my sister. We employ somewhere between 18 and 20 people at one time, and I've been doing this for 30 years. I've also raised a family in this community, and I feel that it's my turn to give back to this community.
Now, what new strategies would you bring to this position?
I think right now that people in government don't look far enough into the future, and they don't look far enough about jobs. I know everybody's big on building bridges and roads and clearing up the water problems, but the thing that we have to look to down the road is what's going to attract business here. What's going to attract business here is broadband, clouds that are usually foreign to people over 50 years old. They don't understand what that means. But the situation here is if you've been out on Hills and Dales Road, there's a place called Delta Media, and they're doing stuff like backing up University Hospital for all their records here. And they're using clouds to do that, form of backup for computers. We need to encourage that and to expand that. I'd like to become a hub for backing up everything in Ohio that we possibly can. There's also a business in downtown Canton that has signed on with the state of Ohio to do expanded broadband. Now most people say, well, why do we need that? We've got the internet. Well, companies are looking, especially large companies, for the more broadband they can get. Royal Bank of Canada, their home office actually moved out of Canada and they moved to North Dakota because of the broadband situation in North Dakota. I want us to be the hub in the state of Ohio and maybe even in the northeastern part of the United States for expanding broadband.
Now, as commissioner, you have many responsibilities, of course. What would you say is the most important responsibility as commissioner?
Well, commissioners actually like a local township trustees or local city council people, and I've had 30 years experience in government on the city council side. I was a Canton City Councilman in ward, I was Canton City Councilman at large, and I was Canton City Council President. So I feel I have the background for this job, but besides having the background, I think that what I can do is bringing people together. What I've been advocating for years is collaboration and consolidation. We've got 4 health departments in this community. We have 4 building departments in this community. We have 4 IT centers in this community. God knows how many park departments we have in this community. Some of this we can do by shrinking government and expanding services for people because of the cost of what government is. We always don't have to look to the revenue side. We should be able to look to what's best for this community, and what's best is now is making it in a situation where it's smooth, it's running with maybe 1, 2 departments rather than 4 departments.
Now, it's been said that the 911 services are overdue for some improvements. How would you improve those?
Well, you know, it's funny because I've advocated, especially City of Canton's not participating in 911 right now, but I have been the one lone voice in this community which has been screaming that we need 17 different political subdivisions on board together. You know, my opponent, when he was county commissioner, dropped the ball on 911. I've been the one that's really been pushing everybody. We've got to get together. There's no reason that the fire department in one area can't talk to the police department or the sheriff's department in another area. Every other community around the state of Ohio is doing this now. We just seem to be the last community to always come on board with something.
Now, how are gas and oil opportunities a positive thing for Stark County? Well,
depending on the safety, they can be. I'm all for transparency of what's going into the ground. You know, right now, the companies are not telling us what they're putting into the ground. And for those that don't know, the largest aquifers, and that's where our water system comes from in most parts of Stark County, are underground riverbeds. And if we destroy those underground riverbeds, there is no other water. And I have a concern, like other people have a concern. We're all for the jobs. We're all for creating whatever we can on economic development, but we have to make sure that it's done safely. And I think transparency here is probably the most important thing. What are you putting in our ground? Is it going through our waterbed? Is it going close to our waterbed? And I think that's what the question we have to ask first.
Now, what are your ideas for smart investment infrastructure to help our county?
Well, you know, right now we have no capital improvement dollars in Stark County. Most political subdivisions have what they call the general fund, and then they have capital improvement dollars. And the capital improvement dollars can be used for roads, they can be used for bridges, they can be used for a whole number of things. We depend on the engineer's office. But I think what needs to be done is we have to call on the local government entities that says, you're having a water problem. You take care of your own water problems. We will help, but help is the key word here. We shouldn't be the main component of this. We need the local government officials to step up, take care of what the water problems are, take care of what the road problems are, and we should be there in the county as supplementing what these things are.
Now, how would you deal with reductions at the state and local government?
That's what I started to talk about when we talked about having less government, because that's the only way to cut this. The money that we're losing on undivided local government funds, it's never coming back. The governor's made it clear, the state legislature's made it clear, we're not going to have the same dollars we used to have to run government. So there's going to have to be cuts made, or there's going to have to be tax increases. I'm not for the tax increases. The public here pays enough. What we need to do is we need to consolidate and cooperate with other political subdivisions. Canton and Jackson signed a pact about 2 years ago on some legislation that I introduced into City Council, and that was to create an economic development zone between the flour factory and Green Township, and between the railroad and Stark State University. And what that really means is that Canton and Jackson are cooperating. Canton's bringing water and economic development dollars to the table, and Jackson's bringing day-to-day city services. So this gets us an opportunity to cooperate with each other to do that. I would like to get more political subdivisions to do this together. I'd like to do this with Canton and Plain, North Canton and Plain, Massillon and Perry. You know, for years everybody heard about the strife and the takeovers between Massillon and Perry on annexation. That shouldn't be the way it is. It should be that it's a cooperative measure and everybody should get along and figure out what's the best for the whole total community. If we do that, like what Canton and Jackson did on an economic development basis up there, we can do this all around the county.
Thanks for your time, Mr. Smuckler.
Thank you.
I'm Kyle Kreitz, and you're watching Lake TV.